In this video, we are going to start the KutaSoftware Infinite Algebra 1 free worksheet, Finding Trigonometric Ratios. We're going to do the first page in this video, and then we're going to do the second page in the next. So this worksheet will be split up into 2 videos. Our directions currently are to find the value of each trigonometric ratio to the nearest 10,000th. Before we do that, I want to discuss SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA will help you remember what sides of the right triangle you're going to be using. So, think sine equals the opposite side over the hypotenuse. O is for opposite, H hypotenuse, and S is for sine. For CA, it's cosine, C, equals adjacent, A, over hypotenuse, H. And then lastly, TOA, tangent equals opposite, which is the O, over adjacent, which is the A. Go ahead and write these at the top of your paper if you're unfamiliar with them, but eventually it's pretty easy to remember. SOHCAHTOA, sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, TOA, tangent equals opposite over adjacent. In number 1, we're trying to find the tangent of A. A is this angle here. Tangent, remember, TOA is the tangent equals opposite over adjacent. So when you see tangent, think TOA. So for finding the tangent of A, that's going to equal opposite, and what it means by opposite is the side opposite that angle. So that's going to be 30 over adjacent. Adjacent is the side touching that angle. That is not the hypotenuse. So we know that 34 is the hypotenuse, so that will never be the adjacent. The adjacent is 16. So opposite is always opposite the angle. Adjacent touches the angle and is not the hypotenuse. Now we just need to enter 30 divided by 16 into a calculator. Go into Google, type in Google Calculators, and you can do 30 divided by 16. And that will give you 1.875. And remember, we have to round to the nearest 10,000th. So when we write this, we'll write 1.8750. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So we'll have to put a placeholder 0. So 1.8750 is the answer to this problem. Let's go on to number 2. 2 says the cosine of C. And we know that cosine, we're going to use CA, which is cosine equals adjacent, that's our A, over hypotenuse, H. So the angle we're looking at is C. And remember, adjacent is the side that's touching it, that is not the hypotenuse. So for the cosine of C, we have 12 is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which we know the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, and that's 15. Enter that into our calculator. 12 divided by 15 is going to give us 0.8, but we need to write this to the 10,000ths. So that's going to be 0.8, which is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So 0.8000. On to number 3, we have sine. So think so. That's going to be sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So we're looking at the sine of Z. So our angle that we're looking at is Z. And we're going to do opposite, which is 12, over the hypotenuse, which we know the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, so that's 20. 12 divided by 20 is going to give us 0.6, and remember we have to do that to the 10,000th place. So 0.6000 is the answer for number 3. In 4, we have the sine of C, so our angle is C, and we're using sine. Remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So we're going to do the sine of C, and that's equal to opposite, which is 30, over the hypotenuse, which is always opposite the right angle, and that's going to be 50. 30 over 50 is 3/5, and I know in my head that 3/5 is 6/10. So when we write this, we're going to have to write 0.6000, since we have to round to the nearest 10,000th. Number 5, the sine of C is the trigonometric ratio we're solving for. So sine, think so, opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of C is this angle here, opposite C, we have 48, and we know the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, so that's our 50. 48 divided by 50 on a calculator will give us 0.96, so 0.96, and to the 10,000ths, so 2 zeros after that. 0.9600. For number 6, we're doing sine of C again. Here's our angle C. So sine of C is equal to the opposite side, which is 14, over the hypotenuse. Think so. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. So our hypotenuse is 50. 14 divided by 50 will give us 0.28. So 14 over 50, the sine of C is equal to 0.2800. Number 7, the cosine of A. Think ca. So we're going to do the cosine of A. So here's our angle A. That's going to be equal to adjacent. And remember, adjacent is the side touching or next to the angle that is not the hypotenuse. So that's going to be 3 over our hypotenuse, which is 5. 3/5 we know is 0.6 or 6/10. So the answer is going to be 0.6000. And on to the last problem in this video, the cosine of x. Again, we're going to do cosine, and that's adjacent over hypotenuse. So here is our angle x. So adjacent is the 24, and the hypotenuse is 30. This would also simplify down into 4/5, which is 0.8. So 0.8000 is the answer for number 8. And in the next video, we'll do numbers 9 through 22. But before you move on to that, please give me a like for this video and subscribe to my channel. In this video, we're going to continue on with the Finding Trigonometric Ratios worksheet. This is the second page, and we're going to start with number 9. Number 9 says to find the cosine of A. So think ca. The cosine of A equals adjacent. So here's our angle A. Remember, the hypotenuse is directly across from the right angle. So that's going to be 45. So adjacent is the side that's touching that angle that is not the hypotenuse. So that's going to be 36. over the hypotenuse, which is 45. 36 divided by 45 equals 0.8. And we're writing this to the 10,000th. So this is equal to 0.8000. Number 10, we have the cosine of z. So the cosine of z equals the adjacent over hypotenuse. We know our hypotenuse is 25, so the adjacent side is 15. 15 divided by 25, we know can be simplified down into 3/5, which is 0.6. So this is equal to 0.6000. 13, we're finding the cosine of x. The cosine of x equals adjacent over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 17, and the adjacent of x is 8. 8 divided by 17 equals 0.470, and then rounding to give us 6. So 0.4706. Number 14, we have the tangent of A. When you have tangent, think TOA. Tangent of A equals opposite over adjacent. So here's our angle A. The hypotenuse is 50, and we do not use hypotenuse in tangent, so we don't need this. So we're going to look at the opposite, which is 30, over the adjacent, which is 40. 30 over 40 is 3/4, which is 0.7500. Number 15, we have the tangent of x, and the tangent of x equals the opposite over adjacent. So here's x. 30 is the hypotenuse, so we're not using the hypotenuse. Opposite is 24, and adjacent is 18. 24 divided by 18 gives us 1.3 repeating. So this is equal to 1.3333. Number 16, the tangent of x. So the tangent of x equals opposite, which is 15, over adjacent. 25 is our hypotenuse, so 20 is the adjacent. 15 over 20 can be simplified to 3/4, and that's equivalent to 0.75. And we need to do this to the 10,000th, so it's 0.7500. For the rest of these, we need to use a calculator to find the value of each to the nearest 10,000th. So 17, make sure your calculator is in degrees. Since we're doing the sine of 21 degrees, we're not using radians, so make sure it's in degree mode. And then you can click the sine of 21, and that's going to be equal to 0.358, and then rounding the 3 to the 4. So 0.3584. Next, we have the tangent of 22. So keeping the calculator in degree mode, we're going to type tangent of 22, and that's equal to 0.4040. Next, we're looking at the cosine of 20, and that's going to be 0.9397. For number 20, we're looking for the sine of 77 degrees. So the sine of 77 degrees equals 0.9744. For number 21, we're finding the tangent of 17. the tangent of 17 is equal to 0.3057. And lastly, the cosine of 87 degrees. So we're going to put cosine of 87, and that's equal to 0.0523. And with that, we wrap up our Finding Trigonometric Ratios worksheet. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up on this video, and if you have any questions, comment below. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel.